Hi guys, something completely oddball, and what it's come in for is the guy wants me to put a sling swivel on, and it kind of had one, but I'll show you that in a minute. Well, so what this is a Mauser, a French Mauser Model 45, and this was created in Germany right after the end of the Second World War. The French took over the Wibbendorf Mauser factory in 1945, and then those Mauser engineers worked on developing this for the French. And they built about 15,000 of them, and all that work was done in the Mauser factory. And then it was kind of August 1945, and then in until June of 1946. Then the factory was completely disassembled, and what was left of it was blown up, and then they moved that factory to France. All of them were built by Mauser in Wibbendorf, but the last ones were assembled in France. So the initial ones were marketed as Mauser Model 45s, and they had a Mauser banner on and a Mauser butt plate. And then later they still had a Mauser banner, but then they also had Mauser added to it, and then the final ones were stamped only Mauser. So what this is a development of, is they used the action of the KKW, which was the training rifle, and then they used components of the B series rifle, the MS 420B and the MM 410B, the trigger guard, as well as the magazine and the mag catch from the B series, and then also the bolt release from the B series. But the bolt and the action is from the KKW. They also used the B series sights, which in this example has been removed, and that same sight was also on the back here, and it was spot welded on, and you can see where the spot weld has been drilled out to remove that sight to mount these scope mounting blocks. Let me pull it out the stock, and then I can show you the way the barrel comes on, and also the challenge I have with the sling swivel. So you've got two equal length screws, one right up front and one on the rear of the trigger guard. Show you the magazine of the B series. So the B series mag is a little curved mag, and it's got those two little raised areas that stop it from going in all the way. That is a update of the post 33 MM410s. They had the same mag, they just didn't have those two little dimples there. And this mag is also got model 45 on the floor plate. So the way the sling swivel comes in, you got that keyhole over there, and there's like a T-nut that slides in there, and then the sling swivel is supposed to thread then through that sleeved hole in the stock into that T-nut. Now that's not available, I can't get that. I'll make up a T-nut and then put just a little sling swivel on there to go into that T-nut. So the barrel is pressed in and then pinned, where the B series the barrel screws in, not press and pin. And then that number, that is the Mauser number out of Wibbendorf, and then the French gave it their number on the side of the receiver there. Like I said before, this one has been modified. You can see the sight has been removed. You can also see it's been milled in there, probably to get the height right for the two blocks. The bolt handle is matching, or the bolt is matching, but the bolt handle has been bent and ground out to clear the scope. and then the front sight's missing. I bet this was removed because this is pulling the barrel onto the stock, and I bet they were using it as a target rifle, and they didn't want that pressure on the barrel. Looking at the trigger, somebody has silver soldered piece of metal in there to limit the pre-travel, to take up some of the pre-travel. So somebody has fooled around there. And then I'll take the bolt out, and the bolt is not the big claw extractor like you have on the B series, or some call it the Mini 98. It's got a just a kind of regular nail type extractor, and the ejector runs through that little groove over there, and that is sitting at the tip of that punch right there. So the rifles built in Germany, they were blued, and the ones that were put together in France, they had this like a phosphate finish to them, and this one's got it even on the magazine. I'll put it back in the stock, and then I'll pull these scope blocks off, and see if there's anything under them. There you go. Mass Mod 45. So originally started as a Mauser 45, now Mass 45, and it is chambered in English caliber 5.5-22 long rifle. That's the only markings it's got on it. Under the rear sight block. There you go, that's under the rear sight block. So what it had here is a tangent sight that you move forward to set the elevation, and that base of that sight was spot welded, and there's the spot weld marks, and then obviously been ground off and then drilled and tapped to mount the scope. I'll see if I can find a picture of one that hasn't been modified. Very just cool piece of history. I knew these existed, but I've never seen one before. Mausers are plentiful in South Africa, and but these not so much. Got the Sling swivel nut made out of a T-bolt for carpentry, and this is supposed to pull into the wood. That's where they got those spikes on. So I put that on the lathe, and I turned that smaller until I got to that, and then I flattened out the sides, and now it can go into that keyhole at the bottom of the barrel. It can slot in there and sit in that position. And now when you put the stock on, I don't know if you can see it in there, but anyway, it is in that hole. You just got to line it up, and I got a swivel, and that thread is 1032, and that's the same as what's in that T-nut. Just got to get the action screws in, and with the action screws in, I can snug that up. And I got a matching one at the back. There we go. Hope you found that interesting and that it helped somebody out there. Stay safe. We talk again. Cheers.